Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa from Milk and Honey Photography and the Milky Way, and today I wanted to share with you a newborn edit. I know when you're getting started with photography it can be super overwhelming and you really don't know where to start. Newborns can have all sorts of issues such as jaundice, redness, spots, acne, and you don't really know where to start. So I wanted to go through just a simple edit to address some of these things today for you. All right. So the first thing I am going to do is I want to fix the background. That's sort of where I always start. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my, my patch tool, I think. Let's see, we'll see if we can do a content aware fill. So I'm just going to, just let me see. So we clicked on the marquee tool and we're going to do fill. Content aware, and we're just going to kind of see what happens. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. Okay, and that's pretty good because I am going to be fading that out and I will show you. So what I'm going to do is just grab this again and I'm just going to use my patch tool, just kind of slide it over a little bit. And I'm not too worried if it's kind of darker in the edges because I am going to be taking care of that a little bit later anyways. Okay. So first thing I like to address when I'm working on my images is the background and making sure that everything is even, and then I start working on baby and skin condition. So the first thing that I'm really noticing, I've got some red spots, so I'm just going to use my patch tool here, just get rid of some of these red spots, and I'm just grabbing a little area that's kind of around where it is, and just taking care of those little spots here. He's got pretty good skin. Now, I do have a little red spot here. I'm going to see if I can take care of it just with this. And then what you need to be really careful of is just making sure that if you've got hair in that area, it's just sort of matching that. And so you can use the patch tool or you can also use the spot healing brush. I use both of them. I like them both. All right, looking good. Okay, so the first thing I want to address is a little bit of the redness in baby. And so what I'm going to do is there are lots of actions that you can purchase. I don't want to be showing you an action and how to use it today. I want to give you some useful information that you can use whatever workflow you have. Actions are great. You can make this into an action if you wanted to. But this is sort of my hand edit trick that I use to get rid of the red for baby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hue saturation. Going to grab reds and I'm going to grab my eyedropper tool here, and you can see sort of the areas where baby is red in, and what I'm going to do is going to pick an area. So I'm going to pick right here and I'm going to change the color of the entire image, but what I'm going to do is squeeze this together until I'm actually just targeting the area that I want to take care of. So you're really going to have to pinch that in. See, okay, so can you see how just baby's kind of yellow? I'll change it to a different color. So baby's like a lime green in all those areas. Okay, so what I'm going to do to get the red out, you can see if I go in the opposite direction what happens. We don't want that. So I'm just going to take it up. We're going to get to 0. So I'm going to be just going up a little bit here. And I'm just going to be, you can see as I'm adding a little bit yellow into it, I'm going to be taking it out. Now usually about 8 is usually about where I go. And what I don't love though is I've taken out the redness of the lips. I'm going to show you before and after. Oh no! So what we're going to do is we're going to use our mask, we're going to grab our brush, just a soft little fluffy brush, and paint over baby's lips. I'm going to paint over at 50% opacity and just bring a little bit of that color back there. I'm also going to bring a little bit of color back just in the cheeks here. Awesome. Okay, so this is just getting that red out before and after. Love it. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next is we'll be taking out the jaundice, and the way that I'm going to do that is with a selective color layer. Now I know what you're thinking, selective color, that's not cool, that went out in like 1999. Well, it's totally different. It's actually not selective color. What we're going to be doing is using the selective color adjustment here, and we're going to be targeting our yellows. So So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to just be playing with these sliders, and I'm going to just adjust them to taste. I'm going to be watching what it does to the image. So there really is no recipe. It kind of depends on what the level of jaundice you have for the baby to see what kind of results you're going to get. So I always like to add a little cyan. First thing I like to do actually is just drop my yellows right down, because that's going to suck the yellows right out. If I go too far, a baby ends up being red. I mean, skin tone does have to have a little bit of yellowness to it. So I'm going to totally take it down to about -55. I'm going to play with the magenta slider and see what that does too. And play with my blacks. You can see what it does for the blacks. And so I always just like to bump it down just a smidgen, just to lighten it up. And that's looking really, really good to me. So you can see where we were when we started. So this was baby when we started. Now we've done a red removal and we've done some jaundice removal, starting to look really, really good. And so next thing I would do is I'm going to crop it. I like to crop to sort of 15 by 11. And what I'm going to do is just sort of paint around baby. I'm going to just take a sample here. I'm going to create a new layer with Command Option Shift E, so it's like a new snapshot layer of everything that's been below. And I'm going to grab a big fluffy brush. I'm going to sample with my eyedropper tool first, and I'm going to grab a big fluffy brush, just really increase the size of it. I'm going to put it on about 30%. And I'm just going to paint around baby just to lighten everything up. Now I tend to go a little heavier in the corners just to create more of that vignette effect. Now if you have gotten it on baby, don't worry too much, because you can always add a layer mask. Click on it, grab your black brush, put it on 100%, and erase right off the baby. And that would be a complete edit for me. I hope this helps you on your way editing your newborn images. I'm Lisa from Milk and Honey Photography and the Milky Way, and thank you for stopping by.